How much weight would a human actually need to gain to become bulletproof? At first, the question sounds like a joke, but biologically and physically, it opens a surprisingly rich field of analysis. Human tissue is not designed to stop fast-moving projectiles. Skin tears easily. Muscle slows bullets only marginally. Even thick layers of fat provide little real protection because fat is soft, low density, and unable to disperse kinetic energy efficiently. A typical handgun round travels at roughly 350 meters per second and delivers around 500 joules of energy. A rifle round carries several times more. To stop such force with biological tissue alone, a human would need a thickness of material with radically different physical properties than anything the human body naturally produces. But let us imagine someone trying to become bulletproof by gaining weight, adding fat, muscle, or both. Fat tissue has a density of about 900 kilograms per cubic meter and provides minimal resistance. According to wound ballistics models, a 9-meter bullet would require roughly 60 to 80 centimeters of homogeneous soft tissue to be fully stopped. That means you would need a layer of fat thicker than a large suitcase wrapped around your torso. Even extreme obesity cannot provide such coverage. A person weighing 300 kilograms may accumulate 20 or 30 centimeters of fat at most, far below the necessary threshold. Muscle performs slightly better. Muscle tissue is denser, around 10-50 kilograms per cubic meter, but still cannot absorb enough energy to halt high-velocity rounds. Stopping a common rifle bullet like a 5.56 NATO would require over a meter of muscle thickness across the impact area, which is biologically impossible. Even if muscle hypertrophy were pushed to theoretical limits through genetics, hormone manipulation and mechanical loading, the gains would be measured in centimeters, not meters. But what if the entire body mass increased dramatically? Could greater body weight distribute force better? Unfortunately, physics does not allow this shortcut. Bullet penetration is a localized phenomenon. The bullet affects only the region it touches, so additional mass elsewhere on the body does not matter. A 500 kilogram body offers no more protection to the chest than a 70-kilogram body if the tissue properties are the same. Humans also lack natural armor structures seen in other species. Armadillos and turtles use keratinized or mineralized plates, while large mammals like elephants rely partly on sheer size but mostly on thick, fibrous skin and bone density. Fat alone is not armor, it is cushioning. And cushioning helps only with blunt impacts, not with penetrating ones. Theoretically, the only biological way to stop bullets would require an evolutionary transformation, producing external armor plates comparable to bone or ceramic composites. Some animals develop osteoderms, bony plates within their skin, but humans have no such pathway available. People often imagine that adding body fat could work like a natural bulletproof vest, but physics destroys this idea instantly. A projectile traveling hundreds of meters per second carries so much kinetic energy that no biological tissue can realistically stop it. To understand why, we must look at the numbers. A standard 9mm pistol round carries about 500 joules of energy. A rifle round can carry 2,000 to 3,000 joules or more. When a bullet hits human tissue, it does not simply push through like a needle. It behaves like a violently expanding wedge that forces tissue apart, creating both a permanent wound channel and a temporary cavity where shockwaves tear structures that the bullet never directly touched. Fat tissue has a density similar to water, and water is extremely poor at absorbing ballistic energy. A bullet entering water can travel dozens of centimeters before stopping. Translating this to human anatomy, you would need roughly 40 to 50 centimeters of pure fat to even have a chance of stopping a simple 9mm round. For a rifle round, the required thickness would exceed 1 meter of tissue. Such a body would not be remotely compatible with human life. A person carrying that much mass would suffer catastrophic cardiovascular overload, extreme joint damage, respiratory collapse, and skeletal deformation. This is not protective adaptation, but lethal pathology. Even worse, stopping the bullet is only part of the problem. A massive amount of energy would still transfer into the body. Even if the projectile failed to reach vital organs, the shockwave would cause severe internal trauma, including ruptured vessels, damaged organs, bone fractures, and extensive internal bleeding. A human does not need to be penetrated to be killed. Ballistic trauma can be fatal purely from the force transmitted through soft tissue. True bullet resistance is not just about stopping a projectile, but redirecting and dispersing its energy so that no critical structure is harmed. Human tissue cannot do this. Neither fat nor muscle nor bone has the fiber structure or mechanical rigidity of synthetic armor. Kevlar and modern ballistic composites work because they're tightly Woven fibers catch and deform the bullet while spreading its energy across a large surface area. Fat absorbs energy poorly, stretches easily, and provides no structural resistance. Even extreme obesity offers no meaningful ballistic protection. In fact, more mass increases the area vulnerable to shockwave injury. So the answer remains absolute. Gaining weight cannot make you bulletproof. To understand why gaining weight cannot make you bulletproof, we need to look at how bullets interact with living tissue. A bullet does not simply poke a hole. It transfers kinetic energy into the body, creating a shockwave that tears through flesh, vessels, and organs. Even if you added hundreds of kilograms of fat, the bullet would not politely stop at the surface. It would compress, deform, and continue forward until it expended all its energy. Meaning, you would need a thickness of soft tissue that exceeds the maximum penetration depth of the round. For most handgun rounds, this is roughly 30 to 60 centimeters, but for rifles it can be over a meter. Fat compresses under impact, so you would actually need significantly more. But here comes the real problem. Your vital organs are not surrounded by uniform tissue. The rib cage, lungs, heart, liver, spine. They sit at different depths depending on your build, posture, and angle of impact. Even if you had an extreme layer of fat, a shot from above, below, or from the side could bypass the thickest areas entirely. Besides, becoming a human tank would destroy your mobility. Someone weighing 500 kilograms would not be able to walk, let alone function. Your heart would fail long before your body mass reached bullet-absorbing thickness. There is also the issue of hydrostatic shock. High-velocity rounds create pressure waves that can cause fatal internal damage without the bullet even reaching an organ. Fat does not eliminate this effect. In fact, it can transmit the shockwave unpredictably. So even if the bullet stopped before hitting anything vital, the shockwave alone could rupture blood vessels or cause organ trauma. Another overlooked factor is that projectile shape matters. Expanding bullets, hollow points, and certain rifle rounds are designed specifically to maximize internal destruction. These rounds would not politely slow down inside your added body mass. They would fragment, mushroom, and tear through you. Ultimately, the question, how much weight would you need to gain to be bulletproof, has only one realistic answer: more than your body could ever carry without killing you first. You would need to become so massive that normal biological limits would collapse. Your skeleton could not support you. Your organs could not sustain you. Your cardiovascular system would fail, and you would be completely immobile. Nature did not design humans to resist high-velocity metal projectiles. That is why body armor exists, and why even armor relies on ceramics, polyethylene, titanium, and layered composites. Materials evolved through physics and engineering, not biology. In short, no amount of mass or fat could ever turn a human into a bullet-resistant creature. The human body is complex, soft, and fragile compared to the forces involved. Biology loses, physics wins.